It's been more than 2 years. And even now, I still don't understand why that cat chose my family. I never called her. I never planned to adopt her. Yet every single morning, the moment I opened the front door, she was already sitting on the porch as if she knew the exact second I would step outside. But the strangest part was, she wasn't there for me. The one she truly wanted to see was my dog, Nyla. And somehow, it was this nameless stray cat who made me, a person who had never liked cats, open my home's door to a cat for the very first time. It all started in the most ordinary way. Every day, I took Nyla out for a walk. Then one morning, a tiny cat quietly emerged from behind the bushes along the road. She didn't meow, she didn't beg for food, she simply walked beside us. When we reached the end of the street, she disappeared. I assumed it was just a coincidence, but the next morning she came back, then the morning after that, and before long she was showing up almost every single day. What surprised me most was that Miko never seemed afraid. She walked straight up to Nyla as if they had known each other forever. She rubbed against Nyla's legs, wrapped her tiny tail around them, then calmly continued walking. As for Nyla, she simply stood there and accepted it. Every now and then, she'd glance back at me with an expression that seemed to ask, "What exactly is this cat doing?" All I could do was laugh. Little by little, the little cat became even bolder. She started waiting outside our front door. Some mornings, the moment she saw me step outside, she'd run right over. Other days, she'd sit in the middle of the walkway, staring at me without blinking. If I kept walking, she followed. If I stopped, she stopped too. It was as though she was afraid that if she looked away for even a second, we'd disappear. The strange thing was, I had never fed her, I had never tried to make her stay, yet day after day she appeared at exactly the same time, almost like she had become part of the family. Eventually, if one morning I didn't see her, I found myself instinctively searching for her behind the bushes, under the car, or in her usual spot on the porch. Somewhere along the way, I had started looking forward to seeing her every morning. Then winter arrived. The icy winds turned our front yard bitterly cold, but the little cat still came every day. One evening, I found her curled up on the porch. Her tiny body trembled with every gust of wind. She pressed herself tightly against the wall, trying to hold on to the last bit of warmth she could find. At that moment, something inside me changed. The truth is, I had never imagined myself owning a cat. I had always considered myself a dog person. Cats had never been part of the plan. But that night, I opened the door a little wider and quietly said, "If you want to, you can come inside." I don't know if she understood my words, but she looked up at me. To my surprise, Miko hesitated. The cat, who had fearlessly followed us everywhere, suddenly froze at the doorway. She lowered herself cautiously. Her eyes scanned every corner of the house. Every tiny sound made her flinch. Perhaps it was the first time in a very long while that she had been invited into a place she could finally call home. The one who helped Miko overcome her fear wasn't me, it was Nyla. She simply lay nearby. She didn't approach. She didn't pressure her. She just watched Miko quietly, as if saying, "It's okay." That gentle reassurance gave Miko the courage to take one careful step after another into the house. That day, she was no longer the little visitor waiting outside on the porch. I decided to call her Miko. For some reason, the name came to me naturally, as though it had always belonged to this little cat. Over the following days, Miko slowly grew comfortable in the house. She explored every room, found sunny windows where she loved to nap, and of course, she still refused to leave Nyla's side. Wherever Nyla went, she always had a little shadow following behind. Miko rubbed her head against Nyla, curled up beside her whenever they slept, and even squeezed in whenever I was petting Nyla. Sometimes I couldn't help but laugh because it almost seemed like Miko got jealous whenever someone else had Nyla's attention, but Nyla never seemed bothered. She patiently accepted every bit of Miko's playful affection. Before I realised it, our home had completely changed. After work, the house there were always tiny paws racing across the floor, short little games of chase, the two of them sitting together by the window watching the rain, or curling up beside each other beneath the warm afternoon sunlight. They were such small moments, yet they filled our home with more life than ever before. One afternoon, I heard a noise outside. When I went to check, I found Miko standing proudly beside a tiny creature she had just caught. She looked up at me as if showing off her accomplishment. I gently carried the unexpected visitor away from the yard. When I came back, Miko was already standing beside Nyla again, as though nothing had happened to her. Protecting this home was probably just another part of being family. Sometimes I still think about the day I first met Miko. If she hadn't been so persistent, showing up again and again, I might still be someone who insists they don't like cats. If I hadn't opened that door that winter night, perhaps Miko would still be somewhere out there, shivering in the cold. But one small decision changed everything. Miko didn't just find a home, she also taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes the ones who enter our lives don't need an invitation, they only need a chance to prove they belonged there all along. And every time I see Miko curled up asleep beside Nyla, I can't help but smile, because the stray cat who once waited quietly outside my front door has become an irreplaceable member of my family.